I'm going to give you new title
There we go.
options. You will rate them on a scale from 1 to 5 zoos. You must pick the official new title for We Bought a Zoo by declaring out loud, I'm buying that zoo.
Love it or leave it.
My first guest, a legendary writer and director known for his incredible needle drops. Don't worry, we found the perfect one for his walk-on. Please welcome to the stage the amazing Cameron Crowe. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
You're on fire.
Yeah, I'm on fire. How are you? So nice to meet you. I'm so excited to talk to you. I've been really enjoying the book. The Uncool?
The Uncool.
The Uncool. So are you the Uncool?
Yes, of course.
That comes across in
Thank you.
the
Thank
text. There's such a warmth radiating off of you. I felt it the second I was backstage, because I'll tell you something when I was reading the book, and I felt the same way when I watched Almost Famous, and which is, I get to the end of this book, and you are extremely reticent to explain why any of these fucking people talk to you. You won't do it. There's one point where you kind of hint at with David Bowie, why David Bowie would have bothered talking to you.
Yeah.
But it really is very passive that you would just listen, which is, I think, something a good interview does, not my practice, but different skills, different styles. But I just want to understand, like, all these people didn't accidentally talk to you. What is it?
Part of it was listening, because I was terrified the first time I did an interview with somebody who's kind of like of great status. I was terrified because it was Chris Christopherson, and he heard my question, which is about being lonely on the road, and he just stopped. And I thought, oh no, I have to fill the silence, or he hates the question, I'm going to get thrown out. But he started to talk, and I realized, like by the end of the conversation, that like I made him really happy by not talking. So that made it a great conversation for him. So it kind of like rolled into the way I like to do interviews, which is to listen and be interested, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're fascinated with what somebody's going to say, and that makes them want to talk.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. So I'm glad you brought up Chris Christopherson, because Chris Christopherson was on my mind, because I had either never known or forgotten that he was a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah. That
Chris Christopherson was a Rhodes, because I think of it as this sort of this gruff, kind of plain-spoken, terse guy.
Yeah.
Salty. And I certainly would not have put him in my mind as some like intellectual smart guy, but I just wouldn't have sorted him into Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah.
And, you know, how old were you when you talked to Chris Christopherson?
15.
15.
Yeah. And he started referencing books and Kurt Vonnegut and The Last Picture Show, film that was, you know, in great regard then. And he just included me in such a way that it made me feel like a peer.
Yeah, because he saw something in you, an intelligence in you.
I think he promised his fiancée, Rita Coolidge, that he was going to do an interview with the kid with an orange bag. And so he was like, going to make good on that.
But you're pushing. See, this is what you do throughout the whole fucking book, which is like, oh, shucks, people keep telling me the craziest shit they've ever said to any reporter ever, over and over and over and over. Like at least a dozen times in the book, these like people that never talk to anybody, they talk to you. And I feel like I can't tell if you don't, why? There's something special about you. You're a special, talented person. You've had wild success in every single thing you've ever done. That's not an accident. So why?
I don't think I come across as somebody who's there to judge. I just kind of want to be on receive and let people sit next to me with whatever article or whatever I'm doing, you know, and this is what it felt like. This is what it felt like to be with Led Zeppelin. This is what it felt like to spend 18 months with David Bowie. Like I genuinely had an agenda no further than including people like me into the fan experience, because I love the fan experience. And sometimes, you know, I got criticized for it among, you know, staff members at Rolling Stone and stuff like that. It's like, you just write about the people you like. Well, why not? You know?
Right.
Why not?
There is this tension where the head of Rolling Stone, Jon
Wenner,
it's published, it's a huge hit, and then he kind of undercuts you about it, right? He's like, Right.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get called in to see like the editor and publisher of Rolling Stone and thanked for getting Led Zeppelin, who hated Rolling Stone, to be on the cover and like participate in this huge article. But really he was calling me in to say, There's a little bit of this is in Almost Famous. He was calling me in to say, like, did you write about what you wanted to write about, or did you write about what they wanted you to write about? And I was sitting there like, there's no thank you coming. He was really saying, like, you know, are you going to grow up? Are you going to write something that's like truly going to last? Well, you got to dig a little deeper for that. And he was having a terrible day because his mentor had died that day. So he had no reason really to sit down and talk to me except to try and say, you know, there's a path you can take. You can be a fan, or you can be a fan who writes about something that's coming from a deeper place, which I've tried to do ever since.
Is that so? You're working on a Joni Mitchell movie right now,
Yeah.
and I was actually, which people are excited about.
I'm excited about it.
And what I was thinking about is like, what makes for a great biopic? Is a great biopic one from the fan perspective, or is a great biopic one from the winner perspective?
I think you can do both. And the way you do it is to never forget that there are going to be people who love Joni Mitchell, for example, and want to get that feeling that you get from loving Joni or loving her work, you know? So, like, don't leave the fans behind for a take that's going to not make sense to you as a longtime fan, but also bring in people that don't know who she is. And don't whitewash the story. And she's like the queen of not whitewashing. So this is a good subject to expand the biopic genre with.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, no, I was thinking about Joni Mitchell and you talking about how you wanted to feel like a Joni Mitchell song or a Joni Mitchell album, and I was thinking about both sides now as close to a biopic and a song,
Yeah.
you know, just as a structure, like this sort of idea of like the ways you can look back on your life, and was very excited about what you were going to do with it.
Cool. Well, she wrote that song when she was 22.
It's wild.
And her husband at the time heard it and said, that's false. How do you know what your life is going to be like if you're 22? You can't talk about love. You can't talk about life. And what happened, I think, was at 22, she wrote about a life in such a robust way that now at 80, she steps in to singing that song, and it has all the resonance that you could have dreamed of as a 22-year-old. She's an amazing story, and you don't really have to stay in the biopic genre to tell it. What biopics have you liked?
I was thinking about that, and it's the ones that you don't think of as biopics often. You know?
So true.
You don't think of Goodfellas as a biopic.
No. But I will now.
But it's ostensibly based on a true story.
Totally.
To me, it's the movies that the story matters even if the person didn't matter, because you're in on what the story.
Yeah.
Like BlacKkKlansman was like that to me.
Loved
too.
BlacKkKlansman.
Yeah, and then
Great.
Yeah, I think the ones that are reverent, a little too reverent of their subject.
Yeah.
They make an impression. You will walk out of the theater and they will be moving and touching, but they have this strange way of disappearing. They matter a great deal
really
when
true.
Oscars are being doled out, and then you never fucking talk about them again. Like they're like Malcolm X is an exception, but there are others that like just come and go. Like I don't know, like people hitting play on Lincoln, people hitting play on Ali, or there are movies that have this moment, but then they're gone.
It's true. I think a lot of biopics just ignore the fact that like there's humor in life. People did tell jokes in the 60s and 70s. There was funny stuff that happened. And a friend of mine also said like, I like to see a movie where the subject in that genre, like where the person has fun. Like they're not just like aching with a furrowed brow, like where is this song gonna come from? Oh my God, it's coming to me. It's like, just have fucking fun.
Can I
like
tell you something?
the Beatles.
I am so glad you said that. And I want to tell you something. This was on my mind, and I wasn't sure I was going to tell you this, which is I have a question,
Okay.
request. My least favorite thing in any biopic about any artist is it's like fucking Ringo's walking down the street and he sees a yellow car and a submarine. He goes, I've got it. You know what I mean? And like, it's just like, in a sense, it's like a day in our lives. And then they fucking write it down. It makes me want to die every time.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You're not going to do that, right?
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh,
Nor are we going to
sweet.
have the record executive scene where it's like, that song is 8 minutes. It'll never be a hit. We can never put it out at 8 minutes. Plus, it's operatic. No, Queen, you can't put that song out. Cut to people around the world
Yes.
loving that song.
Yes. Now I'm so in. I knew Cameron Crowe got it. All right. It's so interesting sitting across from you because I was really like, what? Why is fucking the Allman Brothers talking to you so much? You know, some pipsqueak kid from San Diego. Like, who gives a shit about you? But there's something very warm about you. It's interesting.
Thanks.
What are these? But it's very, you're like almost like afraid to talk about it in the book. Like it's something like you don't want to write about yourself.
Well, I didn't want to be, the person that's so important to themselves that they are the hero of every scene and everything. I just wanted it to be about the people that I got to meet who were good to me, who opened doors and, said, come and stand here and watch the Allman Brothers do whipping post. Like, stand on stage 6 feet away from Greg. Come on, stand there. You're going to get off. Like, the roadies would help me out and stuff because I loved the music. And particularly, like, coming up at that time, there weren't a lot of outlets to write about music at any length, really. And when there was, it was kind of like somebody that was interrogating the musician, like, why are you so important? Why do I have to write about you? And I'm like, Deep Purple, I want to know everything about you, and they would be so happy to talk to a real fan. But I definitely asked hard questions. And when it's a real conversation, you'll get your hard questions answered in a great way.
Do you think when you gave, I didn't realize that the story in Almost Famous about the tapes was based on what really happened, which is you get called up to the hotel room of Greg Allman and he demands the tapes back. And I'm reading, it's like a horror movie where don't run up the stairs, run out the front door. And it's like, what?
Scared the shit out of me. But, we had done an amazing interview 3 hours earlier, and then the phone rings, and it's like, get up here right now, bring the tapes, and bring ID.
But why did you do it? Is it because
Why
you were
did I
just
go up
young?
there?
Because you're a kid? Like you're a journalist. Like, he has no right to those tapes. Those belong to you. You did everything. You're nothing unethical about what you were doing. You had no business demanding the tapes. Why bring the tapes at all? Why give them? What was going through your head?
Well, I felt at the time, it's weird. I did the audio version of the book and got really emotional. It came out of nowhere.
You did.
And all of a sudden I realized this wound was kind of in me. I thought he was going to have me beaten up. He had a bodyguard that ended up coming up and signing a contract that the tapes would now belong to Greg. It was really kind of gothic in a way.
So you felt threatened.
Yeah, I did get threatened. And, and he woke up a couple days later and was like, why do I have these tapes in my room?
Yeah, but he knew. He just felt guilty.
He knew.
He was guilty. He did something terrible. He threatened a literal child, and stole the tapes, made you sign something fake, and took the tapes from you, which was basically a crime, and also something that was, like, I think journalistically very interesting.
It's true. And also his brother and another member of the band had died in the previous couple of years. He had done no interviews. The person from Rolling Stone before me did drugs with the band, didn't write about him doing the drugs, wrote about them doing drugs, and made fun of their accents and all that stuff. So I was the enemy, in my own way. But what's strange is, the people, we talk about biopics and stuff, like there's another area which is like rock autobiographies that are never truthful.
Right.
Because they're kind of, it's like really serious things get turned into like tour bus anecdotes. And he did it himself, in his autobiography. And he claimed that he played a little prank and, gave me the tapes back immediately and stuff. It's like, no, it didn't go that way.
Right.
But, it's like, it's living life at a young age and it's trying to find your voice in the world, which is kind of what the point of the book was. I wanted to write about that time when you imprint so heavily, music, people, experiences. And that becomes you finding where you're going to sit in the world and how you're going to go forward. What's your voice going to be? And that's kind of why I didn't say me in the book. I kind of wanted to take the ride, let you take the ride with me. And it kind of ends at a point with a scene about my dad that I'm really proud of, which is when my dad realizes I'm not going to become a lawyer like his grandfather.
The youngest, you wanted to be the youngest lawyer.
Yeah, I mean, this was the path that was set out for me. But we talked about the Allman Brothers. My dad had stayed up all night on New Year's Eve to tape an Allman Brothers concert for me. And I came home from going to a party. And that was his kind of gift to me to say, I understand that you're going to take the path that you're going to take. And he also had tried to run answering services, which were then being replaced by automatic answering machines. So what he always said is like, nothing will ever beat the sound of the human voice, which he really believed. And that's the end of the book. Because in this love story to music, I wanted to end by saying the human voice, which my dad kind of used as a motto, is always true. And when you hear that voice in a song, even like in a way that the song speaks to you in such a personal way, that's the stuff you never forget. That tattoos your life.
Love it or leave it, brought to you by OneSkin. What does your skincare routine look like? I've got a good routine these days. I'd use a cleanser, and then I use some kind of a serum, like an OS1 peptide thing, and then I use a moisturizer and an eye cream. I'm getting up there. You got to do something for the eyes. Everybody should have a great skincare routine, and you should make OneSkin part of it. At the core is their patented OS1 peptide, the first ingredient proven to target senescent cells, the root cause of wrinkles, creepiness, and a loss of elasticity, all signs of aging. And these results have now been validated in 5 different clinical studies, certified safe for sensitive skin. OneSkin products are free from over 1,500 harsh and irritating ingredients. They're dermatologist tested and have been awarded the National Eczema Association Seal of Acceptance. That's right, Tommy. They won the itchy. Yeah, I heard it. The annual itchies. Yeah. It's a fun event. It's a fun event. And all of OneSkin's products are designed to layer seamlessly and replace multiple steps in your routine. OneSkin also just launched the limited edition holiday sets, including a nightly rewind gift set, which is one of those rare gifts that's impressive and genuinely useful, providing an upgrade to anyone's nightly routine, featuring their best-selling face moisturizer, their new peptide lip mask. I use that. I think it's great. And a cooling gua sha. That's a tool. Tommy, do you know what a gua sha is?
No, what is it?
It's this thing you put on your face. You kind of like rub it along your face to kind of squeeze out the juices. And the idea is it makes your face look thinner, but it's sort of a soothing thing. It's not bad.
It's like a roller?
No, it's kind of like a roller. It's more just of a piece of jade usually, and just kind of go along your face a few different times in a pattern.
Egg.
Sort of like a jade egg, yeah, but just for the face.
There we go. Giddy up.
It's all designed to work together as your body enters its natural nightly repair mode. That's the nightly rewind gift set, helping renew skin at the cellular level for stronger, smoother, and more resilient skin. For a limited time, try OneSkin for 15% off using code LOVEIT at oneskin.co/loveit. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. So there's a moment in the book where you were with Don Henley, and it was, you hear these songs and they are, to me, just sort of, from growing up, the kind of background rock, classic rock songs. And then you read about the effort and time and precision and focus and dedication to writing, just writing over and over and over and over again. And maybe this is a strange place to take it, but what I thought when I saw that is, I bet you hate the internet. the way it kind of cheapens and kind of, we're surrounded by so much writing with so much less care. And I wonder if you feel that.
I don't hate the internet, but I really know what you're talking about, which is like fact checkers don't exist anymore. People can just like spew stuff out. And the thoughtful stuff always lands best. But song-wise, I love that you brought up Don Henley. The other person that you have to love for knowing how conversation, Tom Petty. Tom Petty would spend so much time on these songs so that they would sound simple and easy, like a conversation with a friend. And that's the stuff that I love most of all. It's like familiar and soulful, but not just thrown out, really worked on enough to make it sound simple, but it's not.
So you move, in part because of Tom Petty, into filmmaking. And now we're in this moment where you have to be nostalgic just for going to the theater. There's this big question now, Netflix potentially going to buy Time Warner. Ted Sarandos said something recently about the movie theater, in many ways calling it an outdated concept. Like, do you worry about that, the end of the movie theaters, and like what it means for people to not have that experience?
I do. A good movie can break through on any format, I think. But yeah, I mean, going and sitting in a theater and having the experience of a big movie star being somebody you can relate to and it can tell a story that kind of moves you in some way. That's the Tom Cruise version of movie making. Like, he's never going to go on a smaller screen because he likes telling those big stories. So I just think there's a place for all of it, but I never want to lose the big story. And PTA's movie is definitely a big story.
Yeah.
And you get so exhilarated that you just want to go back to the theater. And so I just want them to stick around.
Now, before we go, I did want to grill you about something, which is
I hope it's what I think
it's the
is.
2011 Matt Damon dramedy We Bought a Zoo.
Good. Let's talk about it, John.
Because
I'm ready to face this one.
you recently said in an interview, yeah, the title doesn't really describe what the movie's about. Seems like you lied to that man's face. Because it certainly is about this. Before I will say this movie.
Brutal.
This movie is in a pantheon of movies that are considered to be better than their titles.
I'm honored to
movies
be
that include The Shawshank Redemption, 2014's The Edge of Tomorrow, and then there are movies that were just bad and had bad titles, like 2012's John Carter.
Yeah.
2010's Legends of the Guardians: The Owls of Ga'Hoole. Too much title. So We Bought a Zoo. What happened with that title?
It was the name of Benjamin Mee's book.
Yeah.
So nobody ever really stopped to say, should we really call this movie We Bought a Zoo?
Nobody. I would have.
No. We needed you there, brother.
I wasn't there.
We needed you there.
there.
I just think I love the movie. I love the movie. I think
It's a very sweet movie. People love the movie. It did really well too.
It did well. Elle Fanning is great in it, and she's just kind of starting out. Matt's incredible. Scarlett Johansson. I just think We Bought a Zoo said, don't see this movie right now.
Why is that? Why? It's interesting though, actually, because it's not on its face obvious. You could I understand how nobody would occur to them that it would gain this sort of like silliness to it, but it is now. What is it? What do you think it is?
The first posters that they came up with just were pictures of animals, which really was going to be a problem. I think Matt Damon saw one of those posters and said, I really didn't have to be in this movie, did I? But a stork is on the poster. I think it was felt to be heartwarming and wasn't. The movie is. It's just funny. Making a movie is a zillion decisions, and one key one can go wrong and tip the whole ship over. So you just have to kind of be loose and think about these things and try and make the right decision at the right moment. But sometimes one little piece is off, and we're talking about it now, 14 years later.
So it's time for a segment we call Zoo Fast, Zoo Furious, and I'm going to give you new title options.
I like that.
You will rate them on a scale from 1 to 5 zoos. At the end, you must pick the official new title for We Bought a Zoo by declaring out loud, I'm buying that zoo. First title, wait, where the fuck did this zoo come from?
I like it. I'm not going to buy that zoo, but I'm going to appreciate that.
Next up, we have Stuck on Zoo.
That's an 8 at least.
Yeah. I know what zoo did last summer. This has to happen in the summer. Now, this is
based on a true story. Keep in mind. Yeah.
Based on a true story. Next up, we have Wildlife. This we thought was a real. Now, here's our thinking. You couldn't call it Wildlife because you'd already made a movie called The Wildlife.
Yes,
so you were
written
fucked.
by me. I was.
So you couldn't do it.
I was cornered. I can't buy that zoo.
You can't. But Wildlife would have been a good name for the movie.
It really would have been.
Damn. What a shame.
But we can do better.
I'm not sure.
I feel it's coming.
All right, let's see. Next up, He's Just Not That Into Zoo.
That's good.
10 Things I Hate About Zoo. In Captivity. That was like a real pitch. In Captivity.
You're ready to start pitching again. I can feel it. It's coming.
It's
coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Let's see how this podcast game works out. Next up, we got Keeper. Like Zookeeper.
Keeper. Just keeper.
Keeper. Like the zoo's a keeper. He's a keeper.
The one word, keeper.
Keeper.
Always good.
We had Natural Habitat. Ooh, that's interesting. That's
It
interesting.
is kind of
Put it on the
interesting.
maybe
I may
pile.
buy that zoo.
May
You know,
buy
in
that-
France, it's called Nouveau Départ, which what is that? That's a new direction.
Oh, that's very French to give it a
Yes.
kind of generic, kind of serious title.
That's right.
And then the last one was That Thing You Zoo. So which zoo are you going to buy, you think? What's
Keeper.
Keeper.
I'm gonna-
Oh, you go
I'm
with
gonna buy Keeper.
Okay. Well,
Keeper.
I'll tell you, this conversation has been a keeper. Cameron Crowe, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thanks,
This was so. The book is The Uncool. I really do. It really is a great read.
Thanks. Thanks, you guys.